What is awesome? This is Affection here, and welcome back to Divine Speaker. As I would say, like, if you haven't checked it out already, definitely go check it out. Like, at least the previous Let's Play, but yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. But it's all good because we're here with the new extended demo. I say new, I mean, it is technically new. It came out a month ago, but that's when I was kind of in the middle of redoing my whole channel and kind of like seeing if I get reinstated. So because of that, I kind of put this off to the side. And I said it last time in the room number 9 video, how I'm gonna try to go in between, or like go seesaw for now with like some demos along with room number 9. And Divine Speaker was definitely on the next on the list. As you guys, if you guys watched my Let's Play on it before, my original demo Let's Play, you guys know I am excited for this game. Like, I can't tell you how excited I am. I really can't emphasize that, because this definitely has a Lamento type of vibe, and I love Lamento, which to me is, I mean, literally, I'm just a fantasy person. I love this stuff, and this definitely fits my alley. So this is an extended demo, in case you guys didn't know already. I think I just mentioned it. So I just was checking everything, make sure everything sounded good before I started, and it looks like you can start from the original, like from the demo, like the original demo they gave out. You can start from that point, which is like literally the beginning of the game, or you could continue on from where the demo originally ended, which we saw Fawn last time. I think it was Fawn, right? We ended the demo on Fawn. I think we saw him in the forest, and it was a really beautiful CG. Oh, my heart. But we're gonna start from the end of the original demo. I would say check out the previous one, but I'm just going to suggest you guys to go check out this demo yourself. The link in the description will be down below if you guys want to check out the demo. Highly recommend to do so, because seriously, I'm not just saying this for like just visual novel sake. Like, not only this is like one of my most anticipated visual novel I can't wait to play, like the full game, but in general, it's literally one of the games I'm excited to play, as there's just so much source, and it sounds so good. Like, oh, guys, and if I remember, there's actually voices now. I'm not sure if they had that in the original demo, but I think in the extended demo, there's actually voice acting, or more voice acting, I should say. But you'll see what I mean when we continue on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to the end of the original demo, because I feel like maybe you guys already played this a bit, so I think it'd be nice. And too, well, again, if you guys want to see the beginning, let me know, but it is what it is now. I woke up at the start. Wait, what to start? Yeah, with the start, sweating and shaking. My heart was beating hard in my chest, the sound echoing through my head. Yes, okay, it was right. It was fun. Fawn sat up at the speed of light, jumping to his feet.
What is it?
I took a moment to calm my breath, waiting for it to return to normal.
No, nothing. I just had a weird dream. I keep having the same one.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were dying, or you were being attacked or something. But what happened in your dreams to scare you so much?
What part was scary? I thought back over it carefully. A booming voice, darkness all around me. I'm not exactly sure if it was scary to begin with, but every time they seem to get even more powerful.
I don't really know. There's voices. Loud, powerful, booming voices. They keep telling me something. To open my eyes about destiny.
Fawn stopped for a minute, like he does occasionally when he's thinking about what to say.
Maybe it means something? It could be some kind of vision.
Vision? Things like that don't exist, though.
Really? I've heard there are some people with strange abilities, so I don't see how having visions is much different.
But we've always been taught that just forget it. I'm sure they don't mean anything.
I'm sorry. You might be right. I was just thinking out loud.
Not gonna sing it. I don't remember. I think the text box changed too. I could be wrong, because it was a while ago when that demo I played. Was it a year ago? Oh my god, I can't remember. Was it a year ago when the first demo came out? Because if that's the case, like, of course I'm not gonna remember. Like, I remember some of this, but I don't remember these. Or is that part of Fawn's outfit? That's probably part of Fawn's outfit. Never mind. I just made myself look stupid, I think. But anyways.
You know, you don't need to apologize so much. Especially not for talking. You didn't do anything wrong.
You're too innocent to do anything wrong, Fawn. I'm probably going to eat my own words saying that, but still.
You're right. I'm sorry. I mean... Okay.
Fawn quickly busied himself, moving around the room and preparing food. I looked outside. The sun was just starting to show in the distance. So it was still early. A light mist spread out through the trees. We ate more scavenged food and watched the sun as it rose above us. I don't know why I said that so weird. Something about all this seemed too normal. Like, I'd already spent a half a lifetime here. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I hear Simba crying because he wants my door to open, but sorry, Simba, I can't open the door for you. He just goes in and out, and he'll probably jump up here and just be all smash my keyboard. He's so needy. He's so needy. I'm gonna get a lot of love after this, but the events of a few nights ago seem so distant. All that exists is now.
Raen, I was thinking. I know we've only just met. Would you like to live with me? Here?
Oh, he says that so awkwardly, but so cute.
Seriously? You'd let me do that?
Well, I've just been here alone for a long time. I think if you left now, it would start to get a little lonely.
Oh.
I can teach you how to live here. Where to go, where not to go. I'm sorry if that's too forward. We've only just met after all. What am I thinking? Sorry.
Well, it's not like I have anywhere else to go. Like he said, he hasn't seen anyone else out here. We might as well stick together if he's offering. The only other option would be to wander around alone. I don't ever want to repeat of my first night out here. Alone, cold, scared. Plus, he has the kind of face that makes me want to look after him. Watching him babble like that is kind of endearing.
I would be very happy to stay here with you, if you'll have me.
Really? I was sure you'd say no.
His face brightened up instantly, a smile crossing his lips. He really does want me to stay.
Then how about I show you around a bit today? Only if you want to.
If I'm really gonna live here, I'll have to learn my way around. I can't just trail after Fawn forever. He's doing me enough of a favor by letting me stay.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I like that.
I ate the last of the red berries while I got dressed, the sweet taste lingering on my tongue for a while afterwards. Oh, he's so adorable. I spent the day wandering around the forest while Fawn gave me the lay of the land. He showed me a few landmarks I could use to get back to his house if I ever got lost. I quickly learned which berries are safe to pick and which could poison you from just touching them. He said there's a lot of deadly plants around, so it's best to ask if I'm not sure. It was like he knew everything. I suppose when you only have yourself to depend on, you have to be a walking encyclopedia. His eyes lit up as he explained topic after topic. It was obvious he really enjoyed having someone to talk to. It's actually a little sad that he's been all alone these years.
Oh, I kind of forgot about it before, but do you ever cook anything? I notice you've only eaten vegetables and fruits.
Cook anything?
Yeah, like on a stove. Or maybe you just use a fire. I'm actually pretty good at cooking.
No, I don't usually. Fire is... No, I usually just eat fresh food.
I see.
Oh, I need a new mouse. I swear, my mouse is like, not only the right click's kind of sticky, and no, it's not what you're thinking. I don't know what happened. It got it all sticking. But not only that, but apparently my left click is also like occasionally just double click. So sorry about that. But I think there is no back button, unfortunately. But there is a log. Yep. Welcome to the demo. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Huh. Well, I see. Well, I'd love the chance to cook for you at some point. Oh, that's Fawn saying that. I did that in Rain's voice. Huh? I see. Well, I love the chance to cook for you at some point, which is adorable. The sun was high overhead, swimming in the vast blue sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight, yet it still felt cool as a soft breeze washed over us. Which, by the way, I had to mention before that misclick, literally. So, okay, he gave us a little hint there. So there must have been some accident, I'm assuming. I forgot the original demo. It was so long ago, and there's been so many things that happened to my channel in between that I kind of just forgot things like that, little details. So forgive me if I'm wrong, and let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But if I remember, something happened to Fawn's parents, if I remember correctly, or Fawn doesn't remember his parents. It's one of the two. I can't remember. Or maybe he was just, yeah, he was put there or something. I don't know. But I wonder the reason he's scared, or the the fact of having fire there, like mentioning fire is like scary to him. I wonder if that's because he must have remembered something, like something about a fire, and just it kind of gives him PTSD. For example, to better explain it, it's like in Kung Fu Panda. Simba just won't shut up. He really wants to open a door, and he wants Pandora's box to be open. In other words, not gonna let it happen, buddy. But he's ruining my train of thought. It's like Kung Fu Panda 2. If you remember how Po had that PTSD from just seeing the peacock's feathers, exact same thing. He might not remember it because it was at such a young age, but it kind of like triggered something in him. It's that same type of thing here, or maybe he remembered fire being something really bad, at least in his early childhood, but he can't exactly remember why it is. But maybe in this case he might actually remember. I don't know. That's, at least it made it seem like he remembered based off that dialogue that we were just introduced here. But it could be one of those things where it must have been something traumatic that happened back then that caused him to be like ugh about it. But anyways, just a share of thought. We spent the day so far wandering from place to place, exploring and talking. Aurelia Cavella felt like so long ago already. Honestly, it was fun. My chest felt light for the first time in days, just like hanging out with a friend. It felt normal. Slowly, with all the time in the world, we've been collecting items from the riverbank we met at just yesterday. A worn blanket, slightly damp, but Fawn assures me it's still usable. A vase, the handle off a door.
Where does all this stuff come from anyway?
That's a good point. I glanced towards Fawn, who was struggling with the mountain of random objects in his arms. He had dropped something, go to pick it up, then dropped 5 more things in the process.
Give me some of those.
You need to invest in a backpack, buddy.
Thank you. As for where it all comes from...
He looked on to the distance, quiet for a moment.
I think this river connects to a large town, not far from here. I guess they must dump things into the river, and they come downstream and get caught on the banks. Giving them another use is better than letting them sit here. It makes me sad to see the wilderness so full of trash.
Aww. I mean, he is one with the forest. But yeah, that is sad. I'm assuming these times there's like, you know, they don't really think about those things about littering, if you will. But I feel for Fawn though, because yeah, he really loves like nature in general. I mean, he was born in it, so of course he would, you know. But he's one with nature. Kind of, you know, just like Bane, except not in darkness. Okay, but anyways.
Well, we do have a river running through town. I've never seen anyone dump anything in it though.
There's just so much here. It's hard to believe it was all just dumped.
It could be a different town. I've never been there, so I'm not sure.
There he goes again.
What do you mean? It could only be Aurelia Cavella.
You got to get that out of your head, Rain. The world is much bigger. I forgot about that detail because, I mean, it seems pretty obvious. So it's like kind of like common sense, if you will. The world is much bigger than what it is. It's like Attack on Titan. I'm saying a spoiler, I would say, but like Attack on Titan, even the same thing there. It's like beyond Wall Maria. It's like there's a lot more world out there. Like the world is much bigger than the walls we're living in. But it's the same thing here. He needs to get that out of his head that the world is much bigger than Aurelia Cavella. I think I said that right. But in case you guys don't remember, that's like the capital city pretty much. Well, I say capital, it's like the only city that's keeping everyone safe, if you will, from the dangers of outside, I guess. Or I forget exactly what dangers they spoke of, but if they do something bad, they get kicked out, and that's where Rain is right now. But anyways.
But there's a few other places nearby too.
Are you sure you aren't a little confused? Where else would there be? It's just the forest. I don't think there would be a lot of others like you living out here.
Are you sure about that?
But that's not...
Before Fawn could respond, we heard a low growl come from the bushes to the left of us. I didn't have the time to think. None of us had the chance to react before an animal bounded out of the ground straight towards me.
Watch out!
I braced myself for impact, but it never came. Instead, I was shoved and fell to the ground. From the ground, I finally got a good look at the thing that was slowly circling around Fawn. It was small and gray, teeth bared in a snarl. A wolf. It must be young by the size of it. Its dark eyes were set on Fawn, unmoving. Before it could get to me, Fawn pushed me away and took my place. What's he thinking? This is dangerous. Fawn stared back at the furious animal, not backing down. He slowly took small steps away from the animal, careful not to show his back.
Rain, Just get up slowly and sneak away. I'll deal with this.
The hesitation was gone from his voice. The jittery, nervous Fawn I'd gotten used to was nowhere in sight.
Leave! We aren't scared of you!
In large motions, he waved his arms as he shouted. He was either trying to scare it or distracted long enough for me to get away.
Hey, quickly!
His voice is quiet, but powerful, commanding. Making sure not to make it too sudden of a movement, I crept up from my place on the rocky ground, shuffling away from both Fawn and the wolf. My heart was beating a million times a second. I could hear the pounding in my ears, and it feel like throughout my whole body. Please, lords, let them not hear it too. Fawn glanced at me out of the corner of his eyes, still not turning away from the wolf.
Back to the house. I'll leave after you.
I can't leave you here. You could.
It both started and was over in the blink of an eye. The wolf jumped straight at Fawn's face. Swiftly, he raised his arms to shield himself and ducked to the ground. When the wolf was directly over his head, he lifted his arms just enough to touch it and threw it into the river. The wolf crashed into the water, splashing about and whining loudly.
Quick, now!
We both picked up the pace, running away from the river as fast as possible. Fawn grabbed my arm and pulled me along in a vice-like grip. Behind us, all he could hear was a furious splashing.
I thought we were meant to go slowly.
There's no time. Just go!
Damn, he's a badass. Fawn nearly pushed me up the road, hurrying me into the house. As soon as he reached the top, he pulled it after us. I collapsed to the floor in a heap, panting. Fawn did the same.
What? What just happened?
I don't know. They've never been aggressive towards me before.
Just a guess. And I do remember the comments from like when I did the original demo. It seems like most people thought I was kind of on the right track, which was fun because again, I like kind of like predicting things and seeing if it plays out like that. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to ruin it for myself, but it's just an idea because usually when just in general, not only just games and like visual novels, but also in movies too, like there's like scenes, like don't get me wrong, there's sometimes where scenes are just there for filler, if you will, and their scenes are there just because, and there's no literally logical reason or no like callback to it. But like for the most part, there's reasons why they do it. And in this case, like my guess is the reason the wolf acted very aggressively was because he knows it's an BL game. And no, okay, I'm just kidding. It's not Yuki. It's not Yuki. I don't think it is. Yuki got excited there. He's like, oh my god, BL. No. If you get my reference, let me know. But what was I going with that before? I was about to say something that Yoichi would say, but okay, anyways. No, but seriously though, I wonder if it's reacting furiously because it's scared of humans, or maybe it saw humans doing something bad. In other words, because Fawn did mention and Raen too, in a very subtle way, how like there's a lot of stuff that's like clogging up the river, if you will. So maybe the wolf saw something, maybe saw some humans dumping stuff in there and probably got the wolf all pissed off about it because it's ruining, you know, its environment, if you will, its neighborhood, if you will. That's the best way to put it. Either that or had some encounters with previous humans before, or maybe it remembers Raen, but I don't think that's the case. But it's one of the first two of what I said. That's my guess, I would say, though. That's why Fawn was surprised it was so aggressive. Anyways.
We're friends.
Oh.
Or at least, I thought we were. He usually listens to me. I feed him when I can.
My breathing may nearly return to normal, but my heartbeat is nowhere close. I looked over towards Fawn. Something red was dripping down onto the wooden floor.
You're hurt!
With a downcast expression, he rolled up his sleeve and examined his arm. Long red lines of blood dripped down and splattered against the floorboards, standing out as clear as day. He hid it behind his back like a child with something they shouldn't have.
We have to bandage it or something.
I know a little bit of first aid, enough to help look after the kids at home, but is it enough for this? He had piles and piles of random bits of clothes around his room, but every time I tried to pick one up...
Wait, not that one. I just found that the other day.
Oh, he's a natural hoarder. He's so cute.
Fine. If you really won't let me bandage it, then at least let me look at your arm.
I didn't wait for his objections. He turned his arm to face me. I think the blood made it quite a lot worse than it was, but it still looked quite painful. I reached out to take a hold of it.
You could have been killed. You need to be more...
Lies. You have been lied to. Protect him. Destiny, open your arms. Take his pain.
How does this not give you Lamento vibes? I'm just saying. How does that not give anyone Lamento vibes? If I could, I would love to interview the people who made this, because I'm curious. There's Lamento vibes in this. I'm just curious. I can't help it, but I love that. Where am I? A loud voice boomed through my ears. I couldn't see anything. It was just me, the darkness, and that voice. In the distance, I could see a light, bright, like the sun on an early summer's day. I reached out towards it, my fingertips barely brushing against the cool radiance.
Raen, what's wrong?
When I opened my eyes, I hadn't moved after all. I was still in Fawn's house holding onto his arm. As soon as my fingertips touched Fawn, my vision went black. What just happened? The darkness was gone, and so was the voice. Everything was back to normal. Before I could open my mouth, a bright light flashed out between Fawn's arm and my hand. The pain started in my fingertips and traveled upwards, all through my arm, an agonizing, burning pain, not unlike that day. Before my eyes, the wound on Fawn's arm stitched back together, until all that was left was a line of dried blood.
Huh?
My arm began to ache in response. When I rolled up my sleeve to look, my jaw nearly hit the ground.
What is this?
It hurts. Blood started to run down my arm and drip onto Fawn's wooden floor, just like he did only a moment ago. It really hurt. Is this what Fawn felt? The same gash that was on Fawn's arm was now on mine. I locked eyes with Fawn. He looked just as confused as I did.
Huh? What did you just do?
That wasn't you?
He shook his head lightly, eyes wide. My mouth hung open in shock. I have absolutely no clue what just happened.
I don't know. This has never happened before. It's like
you healed me. But now you have it instead. So I guess it's more like you took on my injury in my stead.
What? Just then?
Everything you do in life has an equal reaction and consequence. So...
Ouch. You didn't tell me it hurt this much.
He really was hiding how painful this is.
When I touched you, I heard the same voices that have been in my dreams lately, but this time, they were clearer.
Yeah, protect Fawn, which I was always going to do, by the way, because it's freaking Fawn. Look how adorable he is. How do you not want to protect him? He is the definition of must protect. We all know this, but...
They told me it was my job to protect you. That I'd been lied to. Something about destiny.
You have been lied to. There's absolutely no doubt on that.
But my destiny...
I thought back on the judgment I received 18 years ago, the fate that controlled my whole life up until now, and will to continue to do so for the rest of my life. The judgment that I was reminded of at every opportunity. Even if I succeeded, I was pushed back down. After all, what could a useless boy with a useless judgment do in life? It's not something I want to talk about. Not yet.
The judgment I was given when I was born, it was nothing like this. What could this even mean?
Fawn stopped again, thinking.
But destiny is what you make of it, right?
Correct.
If you just live your life to what someone told you so long ago, you'll never get anywhere. It's not like you don't have the power to change it.
The destinies we receive are never wrong, though.
You say that. Come on, Raen, I know you could get through this, buddy. You gotta think logically here. The divine speaker is literally kicking people out who are going against, their destinies. I think that's pretty it is obvious, I think, from our point of view at least, but it's the journey of Raen. At the same time, imagine living 18 years of your life of just like brainwash. Because technically what they're doing is brainwash, or like breeding them to like do certain things. God, it actually reminds me of because I saw the movie a couple weeks ago because I was curious. I was like, I did like this movie as a kid. I watched it again. I was like, yeah, it's still pretty good. It's not as good as I thought it was though, but it is interesting for like it's weird. It's it's like what's the best way? It's marketed towards kids, but it definitely feels more like an adult animation type of movie. It made me wonder, like, I wonder if they were going to try to make it PG-13, but they actually changed it to PG because, you know, they got to get money, and also get the kids to go watch. But the movie's Ants is what I'm thinking of, which I think came out in 1999. What year did Bugs Life come out? 2001 or 1999? I don't remember. Or maybe it was 2000, but I'm pretty sure it's 99. But there's a whole, in case you guys don't know, again, just me being nerdy here, I'm sorry, but literally both those movies came out almost simultaneously. There's like a whole history behind that between DreamWorks and Disney. Really intriguing. I definitely recommend you. I mean, that's the reason why DreamWorks animation became a thing and made Shrek, which Shrek was like a parody towards Disney. Okay, anyways, I'm going off topic, but what I'm going with here is the movie Ants, or with a Z. That's the main character's name. But it's like in that movie too, where it has a good message. It's a really interesting one, and definitely more adult like, if you will, especially for, again, a kids animated movie, if you will. But in that movie, the ants are bred to either be loyal, working for the military, or be a worker. Like, that's the three like jobs or classes, if you will, and they've been told that their whole life. Z doesn't care though. He's like, I don't like this life. I don't like being a worker. He's not good at it, and amongst other things, it's like it's not his destiny, if you will. And even the soldier, he just kind of like meh about like being a soldier, but then he loves the worker life. It just goes to show that, like, even though you've been taught this your whole life, like maybe that was not what you wanted to do. It's the same thing here. They brainwashed him. It's the same thing with that movie. They brainwashed the ants. It's like the ants want to do something else in life. Let him do it. And Raen needs to figure that out. That's going to be his journey throughout this. Anyways, sorry for that rambling. I just can't help it. I love talking about things like that.
The speaker is never wrong.
I looked down at the cut on my arm again. My destiny couldn't be wrong. I suddenly remember the morning I woke up in the forest, the flies that hadn't been there the night before. Did I have something to do with that? Maybe Fawn is onto something. Or maybe not. I don't know. Despite his temperament, Fawn really has a way with words. I think. I almost believe in what he's saying.
I guess I better bandage this after all.
Yeah. Let me help you.
Even though he refused a moment ago, he quickly grabbed my arm up, not missing a beat. No matter how closely I looked at my wound, it didn't go anywhere. It was really there. That really just happened. This could be an amazing gift, but I can't help but think about how dangerous it could be too. And how come this never happened before? How could something like this happen out of nowhere? What triggered it?
Oh, Fawn?
He jumped, surprised I called him out so suddenly.
You were really cool back there, though. I really felt like I could depend on you.
Oh. His face flared up again, as red as a rose.
Who knew you could be so dashing?
After everything that happened, it was finally starting to get dark out. The sun was setting over the horizon, leaving the forest cold and quiet.
Actually, there's one other place I'd like to show you today.
The bed? No, sorry. That's my BL senses hitting me.
Is that a good idea? Do you think the wolf is gone?
Yeah. We'll be going the opposite direction, so...
Please give me a beautiful CG. Not only for, you know, thumbnail purposes, but I want to see one.
I wasn't actually going to show you this, in case it frightened you. But I feel like I should. It's the right thing to do.
We finished wrapping my injury in makeshift bandages, and I pulled my sleeve down. What does he mean, in case it frightened me?
What is it?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, I was just mentioning Shrek, but what if he turned into a monster? Well, or an ogre. Like, I'm just saying, okay?
But I think you've already seen the effects of it. If your arm isn't hurting too badly, will you come with me?
God, I love this music. I love everything about this game. I need it now.
Hurt, so you don't have to force yourself.
He doesn't usually look so serious, and his words are making me a little nervous, especially after what happened earlier. But I guess after his performance before, I feel like I can depend on him if anything goes wrong. Plus, I gotta show him that I can protect him too.
Yeah, sure.
I followed Fawn down the ladder and through the growing darkness. Oh, was this here before? I don't remember. Oh, okay, well, I mean, just in case it wasn't here. Ooh, mysteries, lore. Oh, I mean, God, I can't wait to nerd out about this game. I really can't. Like, I am actually gonna read through all these again, and for the next episode, I mean, we're not stopping here, but anyways. This time, we walked for what felt like forever, on and on. Everything looked the same, as if we're going in circles. My arm throbbed every step, but there wasn't much I could do about it now. I had to suck it up. It was already pitch black out there. I hope Fawn knows his way. I watched Fawn's back while I walked. He had slim shoulders and a small figure, but he still looked fit. Maybe even more than me. He's probably strong too. Muscular, but so slim. I guess living out here, he could have to be pretty in shape. I wonder how long he's truly been alone and why. It isn't my place to be nosy, but I can't help but wonder. I don't think he wants to talk about it though, and I don't want to push him. His short hair was messy from running earlier. Well, messier than it usually was, which is saying something, since it's pretty wild anyway. At least he's not injured anymore. I felt out my arm, and just to confirm the bandage was really there. Yeah, it was. It really happened. I pulled up my sleeve enough to glance at my other arm. The markings still stood against my skin as much as the day they appeared. These markings, those dreams, Fawn's injury. What connects them? Is it all just one big coincidence? No matter how much I turned those thoughts around in my head, I wasn't getting anywhere. Nothing made sense.
Whoa.
Absorbed in my thoughts, I bumped straight into Fawn when he suddenly stopped in his tracks. I peered over his shoulder. My body instantly stiffened up.
What is that?
The forest in the front of us was filled with some kind of blue, glowing mist that gently swayed back and forth to an unseen rhythm. The color was unnatural yet beautiful. In the haze, I could see almost faces, blue, lifeless faces. 1 second they were there, and the next there was nothing, as if my mind was playing tricks on me.
The forest spirits. They're angry.
I listened closely, my breath stuck in my throat. We stood a distance from the mist and peered out between the trees.
They didn't originally come from here. The town to the west of here. The one that you're so sure is your home. Every once in a while, they dump things out here. Most of the time, you wouldn't be able to tell what they are. But sometimes, they're still whole.
I gulped. A cold sweat ran down my back and my hands shook. I tried to hide them from Fawn, who looked calm as ever.
Things?
I think you already encountered it before. The arm you found before we met, they've always been here. Since before I came. But they're angrier. More now than ever. It's like they're sticking around for some reason, but they don't really want to be here. I can't think of any reason for such a large amount of bodies to be piled up the way they are. Lately, the flowers haven't bloomed as early. The leaves have fallen from the trees much more quickly. Fruits and vegetables barely grow. The animals stay in my house for safety or hide far away. Something's going on. Plus, that wolf from earlier, the forest seems angry, like it's lashing out at something that hurt it.
I thought back to home, to Aurelia Cavella.
They've been dumping bodies out here?
I couldn't watch them for a second longer. They were terrifyingly beautiful, enough to make me feel ill. This can't be real. Surely if I just look away or close my eyes, will disappear.
But the speaker says that those that die get buried in Azros, with the elders that live there.
I don't know anything about that, but bodies definitely get dumped out here, and their spirits linger for some reason or another. I wasn't sure I should show you this. I wanted to show you beauty rather than scary things, but you deserved to know. If you want to stay here with me, then you would have found out eventually.
And that's good on Fawn's part, I think. Better show now than rather keeping it secret and, kind of like building it up.
It's better if you learn from me.
I held on to the back of Fawn's shirt tightly. There's nothing I could say.
Let's go back now, okay? Just don't come back here by yourself. I've never let myself be seen by them, and I wouldn't want you to find out what they'd do to you if they did.
I looked back at the hazy figures one more time. They floated back and forth silently. Couldn't be true. None of it's true. Surely they came from somewhere else, but where? Where else is there? The speaker wouldn't lie to us. My mind flickered back to his icy eyes, the way he stared me down despite never speaking to me before.
Let's go.
I kept a hold of Fawn's shirt as we turned to leave. Something deep inside of me told me not to turn back, but I glanced over my shoulder. The figures had all stopped. They looked like they were staring right at me. Or was it right through me? My head whipped back around. I didn't turn back again. And we're gonna have to end it here, unfortunately. But man, oh man, it's good to see this game again. I hope this is truly like an extended demo, which I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not sure exactly how long the game or the demo is, but I'm hoping it's at least a couple more hours on, because I just love this game and I can't get enough of it, and I can't wait for the full fucking game so badly. I'm waiting for this. But let me know what you guys think in the comment box down below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this game, and I hope you're excited as I am. If you are, let me know in the comment box down below, and click that like button if you haven't already. And of course, if you haven't already, also subscribe to this channel down below if you haven't, as we'll have some more room number 9 tomorrow. And I didn't have videos up like in the last 4 or 5 days. I'm sorry about that, except on Patreon. I think I put a couple videos on Patreon. But yeah, I've just been kind of busy as I got some interviews. Yay! And I got responded to one of them, so yay! But I won't get the job till November. But that's kind of the situation right now. So that's why I didn't really put up any videos last couple of days, because that stressed me out as my social anxiety went off the roof, for one, and two, I just needed. It literally made me exhausted for days. Not even kidding, because I was like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm like freaking out, really though. But other than that. Again, if you haven't already, come in the description box down below. There's a bunch of links. Again, the demo's there. If you haven't already, follow me on those social media sites, and of course, all the Twitch. I said I'm going to stream. I am going to stream. Probably tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see on that. I really want to stream them. I want to finish Persona 5 Royal. I hate having that left off. I really want to play that and finish that. And there's other games I want to play too. So we'll see on that. And yeah, Twitch is in the description box down below. And other than that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later for some more room number 9, and I'll see you with some more Divine Speaker as we'll continue off next time. Until then, I'll see you all later. Okay, love you, and don't forget to stay awesome.